boleh lanjut.
Di WA teh Aceh juga.
Apa ini? Ada mana?
Ah ini
panel.
CV-nya enggak ini.
Oh CV. Ini mana petanya? Tadi
itu
ada CV-nya nggak Pak? Lagi Pak.
Pemerintahan itu.
iya.
Aja nyatain.
Gitu. Adian nggak ngasih PPT. Nggak jadi dual monitor di situ ya?
Gimana?
Di depan itu katanya mau dikasih monitor buat.
Belum. Tapi kalau laptop sebenarnya ada, cuman kan
tadinya mau pakai laptop ID kan?
Mau Zoom, cuman nggak Zoom kan ya? Pusing. Karena nggak Zoom jadi nggak usah ya Om.
Rawit.
Pakai aku aja?
Boleh.
Balik ini?
cai mana?
Bukan deh kayaknya. Yang orang.
Antri ini. Oh, lagi pada makan. Oke. Ada di studio dadakan kalian.
Ini udah kayak profesional. Lagi si Acun.
OTS.
Si Acun bener-bener operator.
Angkatan berapa?
Dua-dua.
Oh, dua. Jurusan
Meteorologi.
meteorologi.
Belajar meteor.
Tipis. Gak ada sedikit pun belajar meteor.
Oh ya.
Keluar angkasa enggak tahu.
Jadi rencana ngambil S2 di Ahli juga.
Enggak.
Fast track ya.
Fast track berarti ya. Dari jauh itu.
Enak.
Dia
Pasti setahun aja.
dapat tahun.
Nah, tapi setahun pertamanya
Orang mandelinya sering.
ini oke.
Ke bapak aja atau ke grup?
Ke saya. Nanti kalau
Takut ada
besar,
share.
nggak terkendali. Saya takutnya pembahasannya agak
Kirim
Kalau
perubahan aja.
misalnya tiba-tiba mesti di-tag, langsung di-stop.
Jadi pengumuman tuh
karena piramid online takutnya pada
nggak ada yang ini gitu paling bukti gitu kan.
Konfidensial lah ya.
Apa?
Tapi kalau yang tahu-tahu yang karena waktu riset
Hektik lisan. Oh
Iya,
iya,
Pak.
ada. Ada.
Tip, saya
Si Ajun nitip Iron juga. Tamu yang samain kayak ini.
itu siapa?
Si Adam. Ya di Kamu si Ajun juga nitip samain kayak ini.
Pintu aja, dekat pintu langsung suara berisiknya tuh apa orang yang ramai gitu. Ya, kenapa?
Kopi. Soalnya langsung sih tadi semuanya.
Ya. Di luar masuk di ramen. Ini dari kemarin.
Ya, kemarin mau ini gimana jadi teknisnya? Langsung ke
Kayak gini. Bisa dibukin sih ini.
oh,
Pas dia
tapi paling kan apa buat nampil di sana supaya nampil di sana screen ini harus nampil, makanya nampil di screen sana kan. Kalau ini mah kehalangannya ya, kalau mana masuk mouse ke sana muncul di sana juga gitu. Terkadang bersuara
Berapa yang escape kill?
kalau mau enak PDF tuh PNG JPG mau yang mana aja? Semua yang
Ini apa aja?
mantap, enak,
Rasanya enak.
lebih manis dari brand, lebih ringan.
udah nambah sedikit.
Itu kata si saya awung apa tahu.
Gulanya banyak kayaknya 8 gram.
Makan enggak tahu tuh.
Oh iya, 8 gram.
Pada
Sama kayak ultra aja.
16.
Oh, yang putih. Pada manis lah.
Manis dong. Ya juga
Yang manis mah berapa persen berapa di 40%.
JPG.
Pokoknya kan mau semua.
Wah.
Oke.
Buru lah ini 3 menit. Enggak selalu dingin.
Dia ketemu
Bawa operator. Sorry hanya mau segini bawahnya.
Aman-aman juga bawa ya. Aman.
itu user jadi user. Jadi lihat karena ini
Ada yang mau iPhone nggak? Kabel iPhone.
Ada.
Ah.
Ada Pak.
satu sisi
Paling agak dicobain tuh malah. Karena sudah nggak ngecek.
Tapi ini ya nggak bisa.
Bapak Tavi ya?
sama user dan ini kayak double kill gitu kan jalurnya
Oh, ada cuma kan apa ini?
Kayaknya nggak bisa.
Di bawah sini paling Pak?
dibanding
Oh bisa.
Oh ya udah, kita tolong. Ya. Oke, makasih Pak.
Ada PlayStation-nya.
Nah ini coba dulu.
Bisa nggak?
Oh iya, itu HP paling kiri laptop ini.
Ini yang belum nih.
Ya.
yang aku aja apa
Nah, oh tadi mana ini bikin di ini ya?
Sini.
Yang pindahin dulu ya. Ini orang kalau semua aman kan ya? Tadi kan mau dipindahin PPT.
Nyala nih.
Bentar Pak.
Oh iya,
Nyala Pak.
bisa.
Nyala Pak.
Flash itu.
Pendek. Oh ini bagaimana saja?
Orang otak tuh agak ini, agak butuh. Oh ini sorry. Ada
Kenapa otak?
kayak sesimpel orang misalnya ngelihat kabel deket nih orang nyampe. Tolong cekin kabel, padahal orang tahu. Itu tuh orang ngomong ke sendiri. Cuman kok omongin.
Kalau
Gitu.
Bapak Boy. Baik soalnya.
Lagi masanya.
Kan juga suka kayak gitu kok. Kan juga sekarang suka kayak gitu kan.
Tanya. Habis ya lagunya? Lagi mana? Apaan itu? Oh, habis. Oh karena dicabut. Biar gak bosan. Masukkan. Biar eksploitasi air. Ini apa aja? Video yang mana?
Itu yang ini. Yang potret. Yang AI. Yang di
Oh AI.
culun di blur.
Pengelolaan air sama aja gitu ya tampilin. Biar gak gabut.
Mana weh?
Enggak, ini mah nanti waktu sponsor.
Apa? Yang ini?
Oh ya ini. Tah.
Welcome to this short journey through the history of groundwater development in Indonesia. From ancient innovations to colonial engineering and today's modern management, groundwater has shaped Indonesia's past, present, and future.
emang nyampe nggak sih keluar suara
Ada.
Kenapa?
gimana ini
Our story begins in the 13th century during the Majapahit Empire. Excavations at Trowulan reveal hundreds of ancient wells, including 150 terracotta ring wells known as Sumur Jobong.
Excellencies,
These sealed
ladies and
pit
gentlemen.
latrines were ahead of their time in sanitation, but after the empire's fall, the technology mysteriously vanished from the archipelago. One remaining example is Sumur Jobong in Penela, Surabaya, discovered in 2018 and now a protected heritage site. In the 1840s, Dutch colonial efforts introduced artesian wells. The earliest documented well was drilled in Semarang in 1841 by military engineer Ortmer Ondatya.
Sudah pada masuk kan?
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we inform you that the coffee break session has ended up. So we please you, ladies and gentlemen, to enter the auditorium again to
Despite
continue the final
difficult soils and
discussion.
basic equipment,
Thank you.
the well reached over 230 feet and provided clean water, marking the first deep groundwater success in the archipelago.
Sekali lagi, kepada Bapak Ibu yang sedang melakukan coffee break, dipersilakan untuk kembali ke tempatnya masing-masing karena acara akan segera dimulai.
Sebenarnya mau masuk PPT.
Later attempts were made in Batavia, at Fort Prince Frederick, and on Rust Island. These wells often yielded brackish water, yet helped build technical
Ntar
knowledge.
pindah balik. Kasih Pak. Sampai menit berapa tadi? Mulai target 23.
Target lagi. Harusnya sekarang sih.
Bukan nanya.
Itu Anggi.
Dibanding aku itu siapa? Aku. Wah.
Nama ininya.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, those are still on the outdoor of this auditorium. Please to join us again, enter the auditorium again to join and continue the panel discussion. Thank you sekali lagi untuk Bapak Ibu hadirin sekalian yang masih berada di luar auditorium. Kami persilakan untuk masuk kembali ke auditorium karena acara panel diskusi panel akan segera dimulai. Terima kasih.
By the 1870s, shallow wells and rivers in Batavia were polluted, leading to cholera and typhus outbreaks. Artesian wells were now a public health necessity.
Punya aku. Emang segabah.
Belum masukin. Belum ya.
We please to the committee to guide the participants to join back to the auditorium because the panel discussion will continue in no time. Thank you. Sekali lagi kami memohon kepada panitia untuk membantu para partisipan untuk kembali ke auditorium karena acara diskusi panel akan segera dimulai. Terima kasih.
Once again, we would like to remind you to go back to the auditorium because we will begin our next session on panel discussion. Thank you.
Itu aja dulu. Video dari Bang Agaton udah ada kan? Udah. Alhamdulillah.
Tampilinnya
Nanti aku
yang
minta
kemarin. CV banyak. Ini tuh mau CV semua dulu terus PPT.
Iya, CV semua dulu. Nanti PPT satu-satu. Bingung kasihan.
Berarti berurutan CV-nya deh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 langsung PPT.
Iya. Nanti PPT nomor 1.
Kawan tak?
Anjing lupa aja scroll cepet-cepet apa enggak?
Scroll.
Mulai dong CV Proven. Bisa gitu.
Once again, we would like to inform to all the participants to go back to your seat because the event will be started again on 10:25. It will be 2 minutes more.
Sekali lagi kami menginformasikan untuk partisipan yang masih berada di luar auditorium untuk kembali karena acara diskusi panel akan dimulai 2 menit lagi. Terima kasih.
Ininya mana ya kalau enggak? Di crop bisa di crop. Nah.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming back.
Mulai aja.
Sabar menit lagi sih. Dan 1 menit. 1 menit. Edit PPT dulu bentar. Udah. 1 menit.
Panjang kalau nih.
Nanti
Mana ini? Kalau di slideshow harusnya gak akan muncul. Hapus saya biar gak ganggu.
Kan masih lupanya lu juga.
Oke, sip, mantap kalau gitu. Yang 2 PR. Yang 2 udahlah, nanti ke PDF aja.
Ada yang pindah aja ya. Ada tampilan taks bareng apa?
Kalau gak bisa. Namanya sih 1 slide 1. Gimana? Coba.
Mana yang mau?
Ya juga sih.
Mau masukin semua, takut gitu.
Kata cerita yang itu juga.
Takut bukan yang dibaca.
Udah ya,
Kan kata cerita yang itu juga. Ini kan
tampilin aja.
itu apa gitu?
Atau muncul tidak pakai sampai saja.
Nanti kalau yang itu aja 1. Baik.
Random.
Banyak juga. Itu mah.
Once again, we would like to remind all the participants to go back to your seat because our events will be continue soon. Sekali lagi, kami ingatkan kepada para Bapak Ibu untuk kembali ke tempat duduknya masing-masing karena acara akan segera dimulai.
Kelas king. Kelas king.
Yang nggak ada tuh yang 2.
Duanya
Yang dua.
Tuh. Ini berarti kosongnya di sini. Tandanya kalau kosong ya. PPT udah disusun kan ya urutannya. Kalau yang docs gimana? Apa docs apa? Itu ada docs.
apa sih?
Perhimpunan.
Udah.
Oh, udah convert yang tadi yang
itu lain.
mantap. Oh, yang kira PPT
Bukan.
bukan.
Itu ini di siapa?
Itu
Background.
Oh, nanti waktu ganti. Ya, ini udah dibuka.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back and we'll continue with our panel discussion that will be held in this auditorium.
This panel discussion will be moderated by Miss Anggita Agustin. Kita akan melanjutkan acara dengan sesi panel diskusi di auditorium ini. Bapak Ibu dapat tetap duduk dan silahkan untuk Ibu Anggita Agustin memoderatori panel diskusi ini.
Kepada Ibu Anggita, dipersilahkan.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I hope you don't mind that we all sit together. So I'm not going to stand. So today we will having a discussion panel. We have a very interesting 5 panelists here, and this panel will be fluid. All of you can ask questions and just freely ask if you have a questions, and if you want me to translate, just also ask me. So before we go ahead, I would like to introduce you all of our amazing panelists. So the first, it would be a Professor Harry Hendrayana. Please stand up, Pak. Professor Hendrayana is from Gajah Mada University. He is one of the founder of Hydrogen Indonesian Groundwater or PAAI founder, and also Pak Heru Hendrayana is the chairman of Indonesian Islands of Water Steward Head, right, Pak? And also, in the recent years, you've been very active advocating the sustainable groundwater, right, Pak Heru Hendrayana? Welcome, Pak. Thank you so much as our speaker today. For the second is Prof. Hendarmawan. Hello, Pak. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming, Prof. Hendarmawan. So, Prof. Hendarmawan is recently got an award, a Green Award and Green Award of Environmental Practices, Pak. Is that true? Congratulations, Prof. Hendarmawan. Prof. Hendarmawan is from Pajajaran University, and he is also one of the founder of Ahli also. And the third one is Professor Adrian Werner. Professor Adrian Werner is coming along the way from Australia. Thank you so much for coming, Professor. I hope you have a pleasant trip from Australia. And Professor Adrian Werner is also Associate Editor in Advance for Water Resources Journal of Hydrogeology, right? Correct? And Professor Adrian Werner is specialized in coastal hydrogeology. So thank you so much as our speaker today. We're really looking forward for our discussion. And then this is very interesting. We have Agathon Chandra. Hello, Pak Agathon. Pak Agathon Chandra is one of the alumni of Groundwater Magister in ITB. And now Pak Agathon is a senior hydrogeology. Thank you so much. And he will be give us the perspective from industries in the coastal area, right? Pak Agathon. And the last is Ibu Painta. Hello, Bu Painta. Are you okay? If you are very active in social media, you will know Jaga Semesta. Jaga Semesta is an NGO for the spring water. That you have been very active restoring spring water all across the Java or Indonesia probably, and she have more than 500 volunteers. And welcome, Bu Fainta. Okay, yeah, thank you so much, everyone. So in our very first conversation, I would like to ask Pak Heru first. Pak Heru, because this PAE is very interesting. We are collaborating with APCAM because it's very niche. It's a coastal hydrogeology. Hydrogeology that we know so far is coming from like continental hydrogeology, right, Pak, that we have been learning in the school so far. So what is the importance and what is the interesting aspect of coastal in the hydrogeology?
Nice. So thank you very much, Anggita. Yeah, if we talk about the coastal aquifer, I think in Indonesia there's very different condition. Yeah, as you know that we have 1,000 kilometers of coastal plain and different geological conditions, and part of them consists of alluvial deposit, coastal deposit, and also the consists of limestone, volcanic, and also different geological conditions. And as you know that the dynamic of groundwater, in the coastal area is depend on the characteristic of the aquifer. Yeah. So this is from the point of view geological condition or lithology, and then from the morphology, almost the most of the coastal plain in Indonesia located in the distant area of the groundwater basin. So that is as the lower area. And then from the land use, most of them normally very developed area as a urban area. So all of this point of view have to be considered to analyze the characteristic of the hydrogeological condition in coastal area. And now we have the threat and challenge because of climate change. Yeah, as you know that the rising of sea level rise is make higher characteristic or hydraulic pressure of the fresh water, and also the tidal effect is also in affect the moving of the interface of groundwater and freshwater and groundwater. And then because of most of our area, the coastal area in the distant area, normally, and also the intensity of rainfall, yeah, all the surface water from the distant area, recharge area on the highland, and then flow the surface water and carrying the contamination from the urban and also from the agriculture, and then infiltrate to the lowland. That's mean the coastal area. So all of this problem now has become serious problem in the coastal area, especially in the tropical area like our country. So this is need. We need the approaching, yeah. Especially we need the accurate data and also the good technology to monitor. So as you know that our country now is very busy with the earthquake sensor, but we don't have groundwater monitoring sensor. So it is, I think, our problem. Yeah, we lack of the monitoring equipment, good equipment in the coastal area, so that our analysis sometimes based on the old data, on not so accurate data, so that the decision sometimes have mistake. So that, from my opinion, yeah, we now, especially for young hydrogeologists, for next generation, please, you need the support of the data, the good sensor, good monitoring, to use the AI or machine learning to predict the movement and silent water in this area. So the last one is, I need the important in our country is the know well the characteristic of hydraulics, dynamic hydraulic in the each of coastal area in our country, because the different geological condition have different hydraulic hydraulic conductivity and different also. So I think this is just small thing from my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pak. I have another question. So, because our coastal area are unique, yeah, Pak. So, in terms of the groundwater system, and do you have any? It should be a different challenges from the continental groundwater system, but what do you think is the challenges that we have in the coastal hydrogeology?
Yeah, what I said before, yeah, because also the urbanization, I think this is the problem from us. as well, because there are most our coastal area now is developed as an urban area, and we lack of the monitoring system as in the quantity and the quality. This is our traits, yeah, in to understand, could understand, and could to know what is the real condition in our coastal area in the moment.
Thank you so much, Prof. Heru. So let me summarize your explanation in Bahasa first before I head out the questions to all of the audience. So basically, Professor Heru bilang kalau setiap hidrogeologi di coastal area itu berbeda-beda. Jadi salah satu tantangan bagi kita di Indonesia adalah kita tidak terlalu banyak memiliki real time data, dan development untuk sensor itu belum berkembang, sehingga kita tidak mampu untuk memahami betapa uniknya setiap sistem air tanah yang ada di coastal area begitu. Dan juga salah satu yang terakhir, Prof. Heru juga menjabarkan bahwa salah satu problem yang sangat nyata di area-area coastal ini adalah urbanisasi. Nah, apakah ada pertanyaan dari audiens kepada Prof. Heru, atau or the panelists you have answers, you have to add more explanations or any questions? Okay. If not, I would, because this is quite a bit technical, we're talking about urbanizations now as part of the big challenges. I will go ahead to Professor Hendarmawan. So, Professor Hendarmawan, urbanizations. So, urbanization is the one of notable challenges in the coastal area. Can you explore more? Can you explain more to us what happened in the coastal area, which is that we know in Indonesia that one of the big cities in Indonesia, said Semarang, Jakarta, is a coastal area. Can you describe more, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much. Of course, I'm not, my major is not, what you say, social or I think common in anthropology, but I try to mix a discussion between hydrologists and also some I say interdiscipline in our research discussion, communication, then anthropology, of course, and then another some majors. Of course, if we talk about the coastal city, I think as a big city in Java Islands, Jakarta, Semarang, and Surabaya, I think as we know that the growth of the economy in these cities have become a magnet for the people to come and settle. So of course, another need for the people, how to say, emerging demand for the land. So of course, when I think here, okay, demand of the land, and when okay, I tried it. Because at least five years, oh yeah, because 5 years, I could not join the annual AI meeting So due to our position vice rector in the Universitas Pajajaran, so sometimes this is now I'm very happy to join this meeting after 5 years. So of course when I received the term, the tour that I was asked to deliver the organization driven to groundwater sustainability. So of course, not easy for me to explain about the organization. So a simple example, I tried to show about the Jakarta, and then the growth, the population growth of Jakarta, Semarang, and also Surabaya. And of course, when I think that the area change, replace the vegetative areas and pervious land. So of course, if this over time, I think we have changed the to developing impervious layer in some area, especially in the downstream, upstream area. So of course, as mentioned Professor Heru, some impacts from the situation. First, he mentioned about the geological difference causing subsidence, of course, declining of the groundwater level, and then we sure that our people here in Indonesia, Jakarta, Semarang, and also Surabaya, when the water supply is limited, I think our people take alternative. They use groundwater due to the, I think, cheaper, and then also expensive, and also easy to access. So, as mentioned before, our head geological agency is so monitoring in quantity. Quantity, it means about the groundwater level, and actually I worried how about the quality in Jakarta, in Semarang, and also in Surabaya. I think, in the future, I'm afraid, I'm scared that we face a worse scenario about our living here. So that's very important for me, as before I explain about the condition. Yeah. The quality, not only, it's very important, but also about our health. So of course, this is in the beginning my answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor. So anyone have a question? Yes, go ahead, Pak.
Professor Har talking about the lack of data we have, especially for characterizing our aquifer, especially coastal zones. if we're talking about groundwater, it is really totally different. We're talking about surface water because we can see the thing. While in groundwater, we just actually we just imagine it, and we rely much on our data from field investigation. My question is to Professor Harold. What do you think about the response of the government at the moment about the interest or about the focus about these things? Because actually we face many things related to this groundwater. And do you think what should we do as the scientists or academia or probably from people from industry actually to help this, to push this and become our priority in the next future? I think that's all.
Thank you. From the government side, I think there are many our colleagues from the government maybe can answer about how the reacts of the the data, especially in the coastal river. So, from my opinion, the surface water and groundwater in the coastal area cannot be separated, because normally especially in our country, I don't know if you in the overseas country, the surface and groundwater in the coastal area normally is directly have the relationship. So that means the data, real data, time series data from the surface and the groundwater should be produced for analysis, both of them first, and then from the hydrogeological side, I think we really lack of the data, especially in the aquifer, in the hydraulic characteristic of the aquifer, especially in the area outside Jakarta. Jakarta maybe is okay, Bandung maybe okay, and Semarang, but still we have many much more urban area in the coastal area. We do not have the collection of the hydraulic characteristic of this. This is very important, so that from my opinion, I propose maybe from the government should be start to install the sensor, the sophisticated sensor for to monitor the fluctuation of the groundwater in the coastal area, in the urban area, also combined with the data from surface water, and also collect maybe from the private sector to collect the hydraulic aquifer hydraulic data, so that we can analyze together to get the real condition. Then we can have the good decision, real decision to be applied to manage the groundwater. I think this is what is the disadvantage of our country, especially what I know. Then this is that should be start to for technology. I think for the young people, I think for machine learning, for AI application, I think no problem for us. But for the data is very, very crucial for us to be produced for us. I think this. But for government, maybe after that I can discuss with the colleague from government to push the installment of the monitoring data and monitoring equipment in the coastal area, I think.
I hope that answering your questions. So from audience, do you have any more questions? Okay, Prof. Lambo.
Yeah, I agree with Heru. The data, for example, Jakarta. What do we know about the geology of Jakarta or the hydrogeology of Jakarta? The drilling probably down to 300 meters. Come on, that's not enough. Who should pay the drilling and so forth and study of the geology or hydrogeology? The government, I would say. Pak Wafid, where is Pak Wafid? Is he still here? That's the boss of the Badan Geology. Drilling what? I don't know if they have a deeper drilling. The ones that I know, 300 meters. Come on, what do we know about down to 300 meters? That's what. That's my opinion. That's why I say I agree with Pak Heru. It should be done by the government. So, for example, Jakarta is probably the most developed in the northern coast, but the drilling was only 300 meters. What the hell do we know 300 meters? Okay, I think that's my opinion.
Thank you so much. Any more questions from Professor Hendarmawan? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So what about the availability of data? So can anyone access the government's water level monitoring, any water quality data? Because in Australia, there's several sources where the community can get access to the data. So it's not just the government that's doing investigations, but people can gather the data themselves and then investigate as well. So then you're engaging with the population to get more investigations, out of the academic world as well.
Who is answer? Me? Should be government. So I think for special urban area, I think it's already available. Even it's not so detailed what Prof. Lambo, I agree with him. It's not enough to support, to understand what is the hydrogeological condition in our country. The data is available in the geological agency, national agency, especially in the what is PAT. That is the groundwater section agency. So I think some of data is already available. You can access, but maybe this is still not so. Yes, very limited, very limited. But this is, I think, enough for students. Okay, you can access. I think maybe you can discuss with our colleagues here. All the government is already here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Heru. Any more questions? Okay, Prof. Delino.
Terima kasih Mbak Gita. Ini could I speak in English or Indonesia? I think Indonesia is better. Tadi pagi itu ada data dari Pak Wafid bahwa slowing down itu land subsidence di Jakarta itu slowing down. Angkanya sangat kecil itu dan sangat mengembirakan. Dan juga kalau kita lihat tesisnya disertasinya Sarah bahwa itu penurunan tanah itu sangat banyak tergantung dengan lempung yang ada di situ, lempung yang ada di daerah, di satu daerah gitu, yang secara lihat adalah Semarang. Nah jadi saya mungkin pengen tahu juga tuh tanggapan dari dua profesor di depan. Bagaimana keadaan itu sebenarnya? Itu benar kita lihat sekarang memang sudah sangat kecil. Jadi Jakarta itu sebenarnya sudah berhenti gitu, sudah berhenti itu penurunan itunya tanahnya gitu. Atau masih bagaimana itu? Terima kasih.
Emang iya itu tadi.
Saya izinkan bukan menjawab ya. Ini my opinion. Saya pikir in Indonesia, I think mix ya. as far I know, in Jakarta, if we talk about the subsidence, yeah, not only due to the water drop or declining of the water level, but also related with the tectonic about the Java. So of course, the study from Sarah can compare about the causes, the thickness of the clay layer. So is it, I think, related with the, in my opinion, related with the settlement or compression of the clay wet. But I think saya tidak ragu ya. I think I sure that if we talk about Jakarta, about the subsidence thick or thin, not only causing by the water and then the layer, but if we look up the Java Island here, that lead northern part of Java Island is how to say, collapse. Of course, they years by years is causing different uplift in southern part, but of course to make downward in northern part of the Java Island. So, for my opinion, I think geological tectonic, how to say, India Ocean and also Asia is a key to down or not down, thin or thick of this subsidence. I think that's my opinion.
So, in the first of my speech, I said that the geological or lithological of the coastal area have the role, the impact of the hydrogeological characteristic of the area, and we have the different conditions. So that what I would like to say is the understanding of geological is the most important to analyze the land subsidence, etc. For example, Jakarta is okay, and then we have also the coastal area that consists of volcanic. We have also the area, coastal area consists of limestone and etc. So that's why the geological and the hydraulic characteristics should be understand first, and then after that we can evaluate and we can analyze for another thing, for land subsidence and etc. So that is my opinion, so that we cannot say directly, because of groundwater, because of geology, because of blah blah blah. I think first we have to really understand what is the characteristic of geological first, because our country have different what is the complexity of the geological. So this is the important thing, I think. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor. So I want to summarize. So
Can I?
Oh, yeah, Pak.
So that means you both of you are agree that let's say Jakarta is locked down. No, because last year when we were going about IGN in Jakarta, in Kalimantan, they asked me when one TV, Asian TV, make a interview about how bad condition Jakarta condition that time. That I just told them that there is no reason Jakarta to move to Kalimantan if the reason is Jakarta is sinking. Jakarta is sinking. Yeah, we have nothing about 30-minute intervention, something like that. But when I said something like that, they didn't even air the interview. So that's what I think we are still believe. I think all the Indonesian people still believe that land subsidence in Jakarta still occurring and still high, right? Still high. Still high there. But I told them that that is China anymore. So you don't have to. We are not. Bad. It's not good if we thought that Jakarta subsidence is become one of the reason that Jakarta should move to Kalimantan. But it's a last year interview and this. But that's why I want to tell that we still believe that the data is not. They are not be believed by some people in Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Pilihan yang setuju tidak setuju ini yang mana, Pak?
Biar believe that still Jakarta still thinking up till now.
Saya nggak setuju.
With the high value.
Saya juga nggak setuju.
I quote some
Part of them.
yeah, I quote Samsara dissertation.
Silakan, Prof. Langbo.
So we are talking about land subsidence, I think. Sarah was doing this dissertation on land subsidence, and I was his supervisor. Now, talking about land subsidence in Jakarta, like I said before, I agree with Heru, and Pak Wafid says is flat now. I don't know about that. Well, probably at one point, probably. But actually, I did simulation embarrassment at another point in Jakarta. And the result that I got is that groundwater extraction causes land subsidence, of course, yes. But it is only 17%. I do the calculation. I wrote a paper on that. But not many people believe me, but that's okay. I still have whatever I have in my mind. So when we are talking about land subsidence, it's not simple. Pak Hendra Mawan said, Pak Heru said that Jakarta is a young sediment. It is very, very, very compressible. Tectonics also is active. And also we have home building. Yeah, building Jakarta, it causes land subsidence too. So my point is, we have to really study. We have to do research on that. So what causes land subsidence? Land subsidence, okay, I agree that land subsidence is there, but what causes it? Let's do some study, and then we'll find the answer. I already did at one point. I did simulation, and it's groundwater subtraction only causes 17%. The other causes, okay, let's look at it. So that's my opinion. Okay, thank you.
So is there any more questions from? Yeah.
Ya, selamat siang. Nama saya Aksara Abdikara. Izin pakai bahasa Indonesia boleh?
Yes, I will translate it.
Oke, saya perwakilan dari penyuplai peralatan air tanah juga di Jakarta, PT Alcatek. Nah, pertanyaan saya mungkin simpel aja untuk Pak Prof. Heru tadi mengenai lack atau kurangnya monitoring sensor Pak yang ada di coastal area. Itu selama berkoordinasi dengan pemerintah bagaimana reaksinya terhadap urgensi ini Pak? Lalu apakah ada target timeline pemerintah mungkin di tahun ini atau di tahun depan, di bulan apa gitu? Mungkin itu aja sih Pak. Terima kasih.
Akan saya usulkan berapa persen, Pak? Ayo.
Ini politik banget, critical situation because the budgeting. Yeah, really I don't know about the to install monitoring and then of course related with the treatment waste product from the community. So really I don't know, but of course every I meet with the government try to at least 6 months ago Lemhanas invited me to give a speech about the water and then of course the sustainability of groundwater, quality and quantity. At the time I think the reason is now its budgeting is low, so at the time waiting until after next year. So of course the discussion stopped, and then I didn't say anything. Project or something studies when, as I mentioned, Professor Lambert said that even in work, Minister of Public, I think here head of the I saw heard about the Dr. Jose, Dr. Yusi, you see, yeah. I think at least he can, as he can answer the situation about your question. Sorry.
I hope this is answering your questions. So, because we've been discussing about the factors like urbanization and also very heat debate about the land subsidence also, such in Jakarta. And we also know that in Australia, Melbourne city, as an example, also, do you have any, I have a question from Professor Warner directly. So, this goes for you. Do you have the same issues in the Melbourne or any coastal area in coastal cities in Australia, as similar as us in Jakarta or in Semarang, Surabaya? And then, what is the interventions from the government of Australia? And do you have the latest interventions or technology that you can share with us and could be implemented to us in Indonesia? Do you have any explanation for that, Professor Weiner?
Yeah, so Australia has a very different climate for much of it, but in the northern part, the climate is closer to Indonesia, so we get high rainfall in the summer and less rainfall in the winter. But in a study area that I'm working on, they have artificial recharge. It's been running since the 1960s, but it's not very well understood. They have large recharge pits. They put river water into the pits when the rivers are flowing to try and keep the groundwater levels up. But in other places, the groundwater levels are too high and they cause soil salinisation, so they have to try and remove the groundwater actually. So there's a whole range of issues. The solutions are, in some cases, in Australia, they've introduced water trading, so that you can trade the water from one person can sell water to somebody else, but they bring rules in to say that if you're a groundwater user here, then you can only sell water to these people, and that encourages more groundwater use here, less groundwater use there. So they brought in management for whole groundwater regions, but to do that, you need to measure the pumping, you need to look at the system as a regional system, and it's not just locally managed, it's managed as with a coordinated group. So, but in terms of engineering solutions, as well as water management solutions, so managed aquifer recharge is a big thing in South Australia. So there's some details up there for in Adelaide, where I'm from. So there's 40 schemes or so. Some of them involve a gigalitre a year of water pumped into the aquifer and then extracted again. They also have different pipelines. So some pipelines need to take water from the treatment plant to the injection wells and then taken out again. But the community has to agree, because wastewater has a lot of concern about using. And then there's been a lot of research about the managed aquifer recharge. But if you look down the bottom at other related topics, so for seawater intrusion in particular, there's lots of different ways that can be managed, and including in the US, I have a lot of issues where they're injecting water to try and keep it out. In China, they've got they're using physical barriers. But what about just jumping back to Jakarta briefly? So there are other countries where the land surface is below sea level, and they've been managing that for a long time. And our friend in the front row here, who's from Holland, he's from a country where the whole country, well, at least a good part of the country, is several metres below sea level, and there's still agriculture happening there, and they manage that pressure. So I think that's an interesting question for the future of Jakarta. If it keeps going down, what are the solutions? Because maybe the subsidence can't be stopped, right? And if it can't be stopped, then what are the next steps? So yeah, just taking it back to the sorts of issues that are here. It's not just Australia. There's people dealing with these issues all over the world. So taking examples from Holland, for example, and other places, there's definitely other solutions out there.
And how about the recharge? Is it going to be the same recharge management system aquifer in Australia, in coastal area?
So in some places, the recharge areas are protected, and no one lives there. But in other places, that's not possible, because particularly if the groundwater's being taken out within a city, and so people have local wells, so then you can't protect the recharge areas. So then it's a question of monitoring and education. And in some small islands, so I do a lot of work in the Pacific on some of the small islands there, and so they use special techniques to skim the fresh water. My talk tomorrow is on infiltration galleries and ways of getting the water out. But even there, they have to protect the recharge zones. But actually, estimating recharge is still difficult. It's challenging to know what to do with that, how to get those numbers. But when it comes to just generally the understanding of coastal aquifers, as well as the understanding of subsidence, you have to use more than one tool. So it's one thing to go look at monitoring specific sites, but there's remote sensing tools. So for coastal aquifers, we use airborne electromagnetic surveys. We're doing a lot more of those to image vertical profiles through the aquifer to see where the seawater is, where the salt water is, and the fresh water. For subsidence in the middle of Australia, which for coal seam gas mining, we drop the groundwater level 150 metres, and then we call subsidence. And so for farms, if a farm was sloping this way and now it's sloping that way, that's a big problem for the farmer. So we use remote sensing techniques and local surveying to try and understand which way that subsidence is occurring. But I think INSAR is used. There's a lot of remote sensing techniques, and I'm sure some of those methods would help fill in the gaps between the monitoring as well as numerical modelling. And hydrogeology is usually the collection of many techniques, not just one. You know, we've been saying that for a long time. So I guess that's part of the solution for Indonesia too.
That is very great. I will drop off the question from the audience. Do you have questions? Yes, we have numerous questions.
Dia atau
You pick
script buat print.
Okay, so my question is really, well, it is multiple. But I mean, the first thing we need to define is the recharge, and what is the recharge zone? And have we done that here? Because we all believe that the water has to come from the clouds, right? The rain, and it recharges. And surely your recharge is going to occur where your water velocity is the slowest, and it has the opportunity to go in. And have we looked at that and understood that relative to the total catchment area, and how much of that important lie in areas we have urbanized and actually stopped in terms of recharge?
Australia. How about Indonesia? Yes.
So I try to answer your question. So in Indonesia, yeah, we have already produced the groundwater basin, yeah, and almost all, not all, mostly our coastal area is located in the discharge area. So, and each of groundwater basin is already delineated. Where is the recharge area, where is the discharge area? Almost all, and this is also already published by the government. For example, Jakarta is already published where is the recharge area, where is the discharge area in one groundwater basin. For each groundwater basin, we already have it. And normally we will use the hydrogeological analysis, isotope method to define, then to delineate the groundwater basin. And from the point of view of the groundwater basin method, and we interprets that the groundwater, and especially in the deep groundwater, deep groundwater is also come from the recharge area. But also, as you know, that we also have the shallow groundwater in Jakarta is very shallow, normally is also come from precipitation. Yeah. So, if you question where is the groundwater recharge area, we have already for groundwater basin in Indonesia. We have 421 groundwater basin, and for priority groundwater basin, there is the 21, if I'm not wrong, please correct me. We have the most important groundwater basin in Indonesia. We have 20 or 21. This is normally groundwater basin where the urban or metropolitan located there, like groundwater Jakarta, groundwater Semarang, groundwater basin in Yogyakarta, and etc. So maybe that is the short answer for you. Thank you.
So are we tracking how that recharge area is changing over time? Because fundamentally, your settlement that you're measuring could also be a form of consolidation. which could be a densification of a unit, which means your permeability is going to go down in long run. So you're going to have less permeable zones due to that settlement. Now, normally that's going to really only affect your upper units. But the question then is vertical transfer of water. How is that consolidation going to start impacting flow of water to deeper seated groundwater versus your shallower? Because somewhere that water has to go. I mean, well, you've got multiple layers, but somewhere water always goes down because of gravity. So it's always going to go to the deeper points.
Yes, I agree with you. But not all of our groundwater basin is have the good groundwater recharge area. Yeah. But now almost most of them, the land use in the recharge area is already changing and become impermeabilization. What is the increasing surface impermeabilization? This is our big problem, and yeah, this is because of from the government. I don't know. So, but from our research in our monitoring in some of groundwater basin in Indonesia, there is a very critical situation because of less density in the groundwater recharge area itself. Yeah. So that means the infiltration or percolation of groundwater is almost 30% is reducing 30% of groundwater percolation and infiltration, and because of land use change in the area. And this has become problem in the desert area, especially also in the coastal area. But we also found in some area, in the developed area, there is what we call is groundwater level rebound. There is increasing groundwater table in the developed area, in urban area, because of infiltration, with infiltration, not because of the recharge area, but because of the with infiltration. So that in some area in the city, in the downtown of the area, the groundwater level has increased, but the quality very, very bad. This is our monitors and in some urban area. So maybe answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Banyak lagi.
Okay, Pak.
Okay, now we are talking about recharge and discharge. Pak Heru, be careful. We have to be careful. We have a dynamic system, hydrogeologic system. Recharge and discharge it may change with time, especially with groundwater exploration. So, for example, here in Bandung, naturally the recharge area is the northern part, and discharge area was the southern part. And then our data shows that the southern part is now the recharge area. That's we have to understand that. Another thing, like Professor Werner said, Werner, artificial recharge. It is cheap. We should do it. In Indonesia, we call it sumber resapan. We have to really promote. People should build sumber resapan. I would say it's about the rise of groundwater level, but it's poisonous water, sampah. So that's an example. That's artificial recharge actually. So again, when we talk about groundwater resource in coastal area, not only in coastal area, don't forget artificial recharge. We have the ability to do it. It is very. Thank you.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Lambok. Professor Lambok makes a very important remark. The system is changing, and in Jakarta, this kind of artificial recharge can really have an effect. So I have to think about the program of Biopori from Pak Anies from some years ago. So and now I come to my main remark. What do we know about that system of Biopori? Does it work? Is it really giving artificial recharge to the shallow groundwater? So my main point is, and I come back to Prof. Tadi bilang mengenai data. We have to work with data. Without data, we cannot do anything. So without data, we cannot make solutions, we cannot make policy, and we have to first focus on collecting data. Now the thing with groundwater is it is below our feet. It is di bawah tanah, we cannot see it, so we have to be clever collecting the data. Now before we can make really sophisticated solutions, and it can be done in Indonesia, we don't need Belanda to do it. Indonesia can do it by themselves. Yeah? But before we make rocket science, I think we have to make people science, because the groundwater and the water is important for the people and for the industry, for the desa and for the petani everywhere. So I'm calling on our panel member here, who we haven't heard from you yet. So what about people science? How about working with the people to collect the data on groundwater and on the water situation in the catchment and also in the downstream to understand what is actually going on. Kalau community masyarakat Airtanah, kita bisa tunggu sampai Airtanah di Bandung artesis lagi sampai puluhan tahun. Dari Bapak Presiden tidak akan terima dana sebesar beberapa miliar untuk bikin program memantau air tanah. Tidak akan jadi. We can be sure about that. So we have to be clever to start collecting the data with simple means and with simple methods that can bring us to the next level of question and to the solutions. So I'm calling on our friend here in the panel to also give some perspective how to cooperate with the people to collect data on groundwater. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Can I ask you a quick question? So it's not just the collection of data, but also all of the groundwater users, because there are places in Australia where we don't measure the pumping. And the only way we can know how much people are pumping is by surveying them. And they don't like to tell you how much they're pumping because it can affect, So I would say not just the data, but also all the water users out there can be part of those surveys for the collection of information for analysis, as well. Yeah.
Data is not only on the system itself, but also on the users. Right. How much they are pumping. They need a permit. Perfect. And they need to pay to use these resources. So the first thing they need to do is to share what they are doing, the data. If this doesn't happen, everything is useless.
That's why that we have Ibu Fainta here. Go ahead, Ibu.
Okay, allow me to stand up because I'm very small here, especially when I'm sitting down. Yeah, can I have because indeed, if we don't have the data, then you say we cannot do anything. But then for community, when we don't have the data, then we need to find it. We need to have it. We have a lot of things. We have our eyes, we have our ears, we have our phone. Can I have the clicker? Am I? Clicker. Yes. I don't know. Yeah. So let me introduce myself. I'm Fainta. You can call me Fa. I am very honored
being here in front of the professor, doctor, scientist on hydrogeology, and I've been really, really grateful for your support for the entire 2 years on my movement. Which what I'm doing is trying to translate your research into only 30-second reels in social media. Because as you say, groundwater is invisible. Indeed, even for professor here, all of my mentors, the debate can be like 2 days and never end. Can you imagine? For the commoner, I'm a commoner. So I'm in front of you to learn from you, but also I would like to share the findings, if I may. So I am here representing my community grassroots movement, Jaga Semesta and Jejakin. To click is this one, right? Okay. So Java Island is one of the most populous island in the world. We are now here in Java Island, and then unfortunately a lot of research about it, WRI, Bapanas, telling that Java Island could have water crisis in the next 15 years. Maybe Australia will be 2060, but Java Island will be faster. This is also could be the debate. But then when I said water crisis, it's a lot of research about this. Is this because the water is losing, or is this because our planet losing of water? If I ask this question to the people, they might confuse. But if I ask the question to you, it's easy question for you. You know the water is not losing. When the planet is not losing water, the water never been increased, never been decreased. But then for the centuries, Java citizen, Indonesian citizen, using the what we call mata air or spring, artesian spring water, the most affordable clean water in this island. Which what happened to this island? Now every household, tell me who is not having the duct well, who's not having wells in your home in Indonesia? Everyone have it, right? Who have it? Can you raise your hand? 100% of your hosts having the wells. If you don't have wells, you will suffer. That is the situation. That's real. Almost 100% of housing in the urban area having wells. Correct, Pak? Almost. That is the data that will be only able, if we have a money to do that, that's of course we can do that. But then by the power of community, we ask them, just monitor your wells. When is the last time you actually check your well? When? 2 years ago? Never. So that is just one example of the data. And thank you so much, Pak, for reminding me of this. And then that is why in 2023, I was actually sitting on my table. I'm one of the board of directors in Heineken at that time. And I checked my data about groundwater level in aqueduct and in some study with showing that the water table is still going down. And I'm in the level of, what should I do? What should I do? I'm just a single parent having a job. I need to feed my family, bring my son to school. Nothing I can do. And I talked to Professor Heru, Professor Wawang, a lot of professors here. What I can do? Basically, do whatever you can do. Which is, I'm starting with this bunch of young people who believe in action. To do what? To do the survey of what happened with our groundwater. But then indeed, groundwater is invisible. So what we are trying to do as a commoner, what is the visible groundwater? It's spring. In our point of view, of course, you may say, no, spring is surface water. But for us, it might help us to understand the situation, the characteristic of the groundwater. That's helped us. We don't have the sensor, we have nothing, but we have our eyes, we have the community to monitor the spring. So we start monitor the spring, and then during the journey, we ask the people that we met. This is a survey that conducted almost 100,000 participants, actually. And then do you know that actually, based on this, the finding and everything, Indonesian not believe in global warming, most often 34%, and even 60-something%, they don't believe in water cycle, Bapak Ibu. They don't believe in water cycle. It's real. I can show you the result survey. And then what happened also, can I play this actually? I don't think so. Can I click this? So this is one of the example of the spring in the central Java. You see, they make a swimming pool from the spring with a lot of cement. Of course, the spring is dead because of that. What do you expect? And this thing happened in most of the spring in Java Island, and a lot of also happened in a lot of other islands. And in Java Island itself, more than 30% big spring like this, becoming the swimming pool, becoming the touristic area, and then the flow rate is going down. Faster this.
Benarkah krisis air bersih akan terjadi 2040? Berbekal keresahan akan hilang atau turunnya
part of the journey, basically to show what is the groundwater, what is the water cycle, where is the recharge area, what is recharge area, using very simple language for the commoner, sharing them about what they can do in a simple way. This is something that I very sure that all of you understand well. Rainwater harvesting, doing the homemade drip irrigation, DIY things, and then doing the infiltration well, biopori, as simple as that. Is that works? For me, it's not maybe in terms of the quantity, especially if the biopori actually conducted in the discharge area, then I feel like maybe it's not effective. But then maybe by showing the people how the water is actually infiltrated, how they can help the water to come home. Where is the home? In the groundwater. To help the water balance getting slower. Currently the water balance is very fast. The rainfall that coming could be weeks ago, could becoming another waterfall today, while in the past, the rainwater from 2,000 years ago will be only entering the surface today in the past. But for the last 50 years, this water cycles change really, really fast. It's becoming shorter, becoming faster. So this is something that we do. We try to do spring restoration. What is spring restoration? We collect the local wisdom from the elder. What does the spring look like in the past? Tell us. And we invite the youth, we invite the kids, and the elder will start doing the storytelling. What does the spring look like? How much is the flow rate? How clean is it? And how much is the trees around the spring? And then now, what is different? Find it. What is different? Can we make it back? At least we start from the spring. We clean the spring, we remove the sediment, we remove the cement. And then when they see the spring flow again, they see the hope. Oh, it still can flowing. Yes, it could be bigger if you do more. Where? What we can do? You plant the trees, endemic trees in the recharge area. Where is the recharge area? The recharge area is everywhere, but make it simple. We are in the volcanic area. So basically from the up. We cannot say like upstream is too complicated for my grandma. For my mother, yeah? If you do the presentation which your mother don't understand, then do not expect your research could help the people in the real life. However, if you are able to deliver the message clearly about your research to the people, then might be a young man from the rural area, they have an idea what I can do about this. This is very fascinating. I want to do this. Could be like that. So my duty is just to transfer the knowledge from your research to the community. So we build this this is what we do during can you play this? So we do the field survey with the community. This is the spring that 30, 40 years ago is flowing and used by the people around. And then we ask them the question about the spring and then what they usually do. And then we remove the sediment and then the water starts flowing. Collective work, this is always gotong royong. I don't have money to do this. And then we directly monitor the flow rate using a simple one, the bottle, the bucket, and the watch. And then community I will help them on how to calculate the flow rate and ask them to do it regularly during the rainy season and the dry season, so they know the pattern. Can you just play it? Yeah. Okay. Next. Okay. And then currently we are already in the year 2 of this movement. More than 20 spring, actually this is the slide from a year ago. More than 20 spring has been restored, and more than 15,000 endemic trees has been planted. But beyond that, it's not the spring that restored. It's not about the trees that planted. But then currently we have 140,000 followers and 500 volunteers monitor the spring in their village, monitor their wells. And then I'm here to thank you so much for your contribution, for your knowledge. Whenever I ask you a question, you always give me the answer. And then for always back up me when there is a hydrogeology yang agak nakal ya, asking about a very theoretic question that I don't understand. So thank you so much. I'm really humble here reporting this update of this movement in front of you. And then currently I am focusing on doing more than that. I'm using AI, IoT to improve the work. And maybe some of you that doing the study about soil water infiltration, you remember the double ring, the double ring, and I do with my team conducting using a sensor. The left one is version 1, and now I have this second version, latest version. It's a portable one, easy to be used. If some of you want to try to use it, welcome. Also, I'm also doing the soil water analysis tool, combine this soil water analysis tool with, this is for corporation basically, for corporation and for government to help them to understand the water benefit accounting. Basically, to help them easily planning if they have a certain amount of money, but they're not sure what they need to do. However, they want to claim how much is the water that airplane needs, for example. I'm trying to help them not going too far with the claim. So I'm trying to help them to connect with the theory of how is water infiltrate, how things work, the formula that already mainstream in hydrogeology, and then using also the theory of water, volumetric water-based accounting combined between soil assessment, soil and water assessment tool with the volumetric water accounting benefit. Then combine it into understanding how much is the benefit or how much is the impact if someone doing something for the certain amount of period in the certain amount of recharge area. And then also conducting this kind of machine learning IoT sensor for the biodiversity around the spring. Can you play this? Yeah. So basically this work like your ears. Cannot? Okay, so basically this is bioacoustic sensor that help us to understand the biodiversity of the spring after we do the restoration after 2 years. This is listening to the sound. First series we do the bird monitoring. So we are able currently to, especially bird in Java Island, like they will listen to the sounds and then send us the information about what kind of bird is this. Yeah, and then we use also the data. This is like a machine learning and use big data from the community. Community share us this based on their understanding. This is the picture of the bird. What is their guess, the local name, and then our we call it supervised machine learning. So someone, the biologist, will help to verify from time to time. Thank you so much. It's a sharing. Hopefully. I can always learn from you and always got your support for this movement. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so
much, Ibu Fainta. It's a very interesting take that groundwater is invisible, but the only one groundwater is visible is spring water. Very interesting, and also taking point from the previous discussions that we need more data, we need more actual data. That most of us forget that people have a lot of data. We just don't have any connections to gather all of the data from the people, from the grassroots area, to make it more scientific journal to help us to collect the data, to have a very detailed interpretations of hydrogeology. I think that's the moment that Ibu Fainta is probably we have a lot of people here from Indonesia research. Your data, your grassroots data probably can be collaborated with the BRIN, with the Badan Geologi, and with all of the universities in Indonesia to be published in more journal. And also we have the community, we have the academics from the previous discussions. We should not forget from the industrial take. So here we have before we have a last discussions moment with the audience, I would like to invite Pak Agatong. What is your point of view in terms of the our discussions we just had, and we know that not only people who live in the coastal area, but also industrial also live in coastal area. What do you think that we can collaborate, and what is your point of view?
Yeah, maybe summarize the Professor Heru, Professor Awang also about the lack of the data in the city like that. But if we compare the footprint of the city and I'm from mining industry, but for your information, if you compare data, we compare the footprints of the city and the footprint of the mining. Sometimes in mining area we have more piezometers and the water well monitoring, right? If we compare the area and the numbers of our water monitorings, why the mining industry doing that? Because the government pushed with us, right? With some regulations, they put some regulations. Oh, we should monitoring, we should groundwater levels, the quality, water surface, the discharge, everything's monitored. So it's the point of this is the correlation is the goodwill from the governments. The governments can manage because I don't know why the governments have more intentions to mining industry, right? But yeah, because when we discussed in yesterday that mining industry, I was being blamed as the negative impact for environmentals, right, for the groundwater or the water resource, and then they push us to doing something good with monitoring, with maintains our discharge like that, so our discharge area like that, and it's not happen in city, but it does not happen in the urban area. Which is the urban area, there are more populations, more activity, like industry. Industry in Bandung we have textiles. That's consume a lot of water. In Jakarta, Basin we have surrounding by all the infrastructure, all the industry, right? And the question is why the government can push the mining industry and cannot push the other industry to responsible about the water resource. That's the question maybe that I can summarize in here, right?
Thank you so much. So the mining industry has 4 piezometer, and more piezometer.
Yeah, if we compare in the footprints area, right? The mining industry maybe have more piezometers and water monitoring wells.
Could be it being collaborated with the academic for goodwill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of course we open to have some research about, because in mining in our mining company is located in the coastal area, which is where we have I think it's a small picture about the coastal aquifers and related to the mining activity, and then we open to have some research there to learn about the behavior of the aquifer in the coastal area, also with the interactions with the humans also.
So, okay, thank you so much, Pak Agaton. So, any have questions from Pak Agaton for Ibu Faita? Okay.
So in Australia, the mining companies understand the local impact, but the cumulative impact of many mining operations within a region is often left to the government. So in Queensland, for example, there's a lot of coal mines. So they set up this Office of Groundwater Impact Assessment, which is not quite government, it's actually funded by the mining companies. And their job is to look at the large-scale impact of multiple coal seam gas operations and then the regional effect of those. So is there something like that in Indonesia where the cumulative impacts are assessed?
Yeah, of course, Pak. And yeah, we have after we have conduct a feasibility study. We also need we submission the document for environmental impact also, and we should have that before we conduct the activity. So yeah, in this in the document, also I think it's quite comprehensive because yeah, we just then calculate about what happens right now in terms in the groundwater resource, but also we should predict what happens if after we open 100 meter mine depth extra or we have underground mining. We should predict that the impact of the conditions. That's the responsibility of mining industry in Indonesia.
Your questions, Professor?
All operating in an area, each one has its own impacts. Those impacts overlap. It's very difficult for an individual company to assess that. So the government has to play a role there.
Yeah, of course, Pak. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's government. Yeah, but we for determining the area of the impact is sometimes is by the it's maybe more than our area of our works itself, Pak. So it's also included in the documents, and then yeah, we have several experts to review that document also. So the government sometimes works also with the researchers from the campus, from the university, and yeah, we can determine the impact of that mining area. It may be more than bigger than the concession itself. So it's already built in Indonesia.
I agree with Professor Werner mentioned about the multiple impact, not only one single mining company. We must have a comprehensive view, not only single mine. Yeah, but actually this is not so difficult because the groundwater and the mining is in one ministry actually. But now, it's one ministry. Yeah, underground water. Under the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, right? And also the mining, mineral, oil and gas in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources. So actually this is, we combine together data from one Directorate General Mineral and Coal Resources, Oil and Gas, and also Water and Geological Agency. Yeah, actually this is already, so I think start from now we must make a comprehensive analysis, not only single mine company. Yeah, I think Palambo agree with that.
I think many people will agree to that. But this is very important. I think. So we are talking a lot about amblas tanah, land subsidence in Jakarta and in Pantura, and maybe the groundwater situation in Bandung, Cekungan Bandung is already problems that we know and we understand for the last 10, 15, maybe 20 years. Tapi sekarang mengenai pertambangan, the mining sector and the government policy to push for the nickel, especially in Sulawesi and in eastern Indonesia, this is the problem from today. And in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, I think the problem will be huge. because the mining of the nickel, it will create huge environmental issue, like you mentioned. The individual companies, they will have to do the obliged monitoring for the permit, but the overall environmental impact, I think it will be very, very important that everybody start to understand what the impact will be in 5 to 10 years time. Huge impact. Thank you. Terima kasih.
My name is Pham from Vietnam. I'm very impressed with the story ladies tell about how to restore spring in Indonesia. It's very impressive. It's solid. It's also the problem in Vietnam. We have many challenges with the dropping of the spring and land subsidence and many things. It's connected with groundwater problem. So I think that is very important. Our key fighting here is how to awareness the community. Very important. So I like to know how do you enhancing the awareness community. That is a lesson for us because a few months ago we developed game series with Dentarest. It's very good for the story of the land subsidence in a Mekong Delta, so that it's quite a good lesson for you as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I think in terms of like the mining industry, one of the things that we're generally not very good at is including the community around us. And they're a vital and important part of the information, and often a very overlooked part of the information. And, you know, I've been challenging the teams on our mine that, you know, they keep saying, oh, we don't have enough information on groundwater. It's a common argument. And I keep saying, well, there's plenty of holes in the ground. Have you gone and looked at all of it? Not just in the mine. Have we actually gone to the community and asked them, you know, can we start monitoring your well, particularly just outside of our mining licenses, to start understanding how much of an impact we really do have? Because we often don't understand that. And, you know, to me it's quite important. The community is probably the most important thing around you as a mine. So yeah, information, I keep saying to my guys, there's information all over. Your spring is actually a water well. It's a point. It's a piece of metric head. Your rivers are a head. You've got information right there and right then. So you can use it. Yeah, our groundwater is very, very complicated to track it and model it. Not an easy job.
Can I respond?
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah, so just a quick one. The other thing about engaging with the community is to find out the value of the water itself to the community, and it may be an ecological value, but there may be in Australia there's a lot of cultural value water for the Aboriginal people, you know, the local people. So there's so many reasons for that stakeholder engagement. So it's not just data, the value of the water and all those other things. So yeah, it's so valuable, the work that's being done.
Yeah, maybe a response for that. In the end of the day, it's what's in it for them, what's in it for us. When, for example, like you're asking the community to monitor the water, but on behalf of the knowledge of the mining industry, I think they will say no. But then, if it's for you, for yourself, for your house, for your beloved wife, for your beloved grandchild, they would definitely. Are you sure that your well will be there for the next 20 years? Then those questions will bother them a lot. Adult will be only able to be inspired or to be feared. If I cannot make them inspired, then I will make them fear. Well, it's only it's based on the study as well, not by me, by the professor in neuroscience. How to engage them? If only they will be only engaged when they feel like relatability is there. So social media is one of the example that currently I used. Why? And it's also easy to check whether my message is relatable to them or not. Because if they're not feel relatable, they will just scroll. But if they feel relatable, they will stay. And I have a lot of struggle previously before I have a lot of volunteer to access your journal, but then currently a lot of volunteers also coming from academicians that are willing to download me some of your journal, so I will be able to translate what is in this research actually, what he or she try to deliver. Why? Because the community, they don't have the access to this room. I am having a privilege being here to know some of you. Most of the government official also, sometimes the one that actually in mining industry, maybe 2 years ago is coming from the other ministry, even the background is not even very close with the water or with mining. That is very common. I mean like, do not expect that the government official will understand what they need to do. They need help. They need help from all of you. While what I'm doing is, I will help you to make a noise to the community, sharing their concern. And I'll help you to deliver your message to the community on what they need to do. Let me know, and then the Muslim country, most of the time, I use Quran. I use the Bible as well in the eastern part of Indonesia. I will ask the father, the Romo, and in Java I will ask the support of the Ustad on how connect the water cycle to this knowledge. So I use those kind of approach, and I use for the kids. I use simple tools. Usually play with for example, the soil, the stones, the grass, how it's different when the rainwaters goes through this kind of materials. Oh, the stone, the water very thinner when rainwater through the stones. Oh, when it's only soil, it's getting dirtier. As simple as that. It's not rocket science. It's there. So I use that with the support. Lot of ideas from volunteer. Hopefully that's also answer your question.
Thank you. My question or comments is about your project, restoring spring, especially the artesian spring. This is a very common problem that is many springs disappeared, even in Hong Kong. So a few weeks ago, a monk asked me to help. They got a temple very, very old, more than 100 years old. They got a water pond in front of the temple, but the water not disappeared. I know in Hong Kong there's also huge wetlands, somewhere on the hillside disappeared. And I know the problem is not simple. It's because the government dig a huge tunnel below that, which drain all the groundwater away. So the spring is part of the huge groundwater catchment or flow system. So when you got a spring disappear, the recharge area can be miles away, and that means the recharge area somehow changed, or water table dropped by many meters. So when you talk about spring restoration, I will not say it's as simple as digging out the mud and remove the bushes, because the water back. So it's a major effort involved the entire system. In Beijing, we got 3,000 springs disappeared. Now 80% coming back. That's because the government controlled the pumping in Beijing city. Before, we rely 80% groundwater for drinking, now down to 20%. And also we have a huge project bring water from south of China to Beijing or north part of China. So then we can raise the groundwater table by 10 meters in the past 9 years. So in that way, we can restore the spring. So in your case, just one lady with a few farmers, how could you get the spring back?
Indeed, you are 100% correct. So we call it quick win. But quick win. You know, quick win is like, we know the battle is going to be maybe 10 years or 20 years if we want to really restore the groundwater. What we are trying is restoring the groundwater, bring the water back to their home. That's what we are trying to do. But that sounds so far away. That is why I use tools. I use means which we choose spring. Why spring? Because you can see that it's feasible. And then usually before I do the spring restoration, I will conduct a lot of research on the hydrogeology study. And then I choose actually from 30 springs. I know that only maybe 1 or 2 after the cleaning of the sediment, it could flow again. That one is just quick win. It's not the end of the game. No, not the result that we want. This is just to give the hopes, because hope is just such a beautiful light when you are in the dark. When you cannot rely on, should we wait the government doing this? No, it's not gonna happen. Maybe it could happen, could. But who can promise? Then, as a resilience community of Indonesia, what we can do, we do something that we can do. Simple thing, but then we don't stop. That's the most important thing. We don't stop. We understand that the whole system of the groundwater is very complex, and the whole water cycles having a lot of factors. As simple as the way you dump the waste on the river, that's also influence the groundwater. As simple as when you do not create a proper septic tank, that's influence your groundwater. So every single thing, we try to touch them in every aspect of their life whenever they have any relatability with the water. That's what we are trying to do. So it's a long journey, but then we have to start with something simple, feasible, doable, and affordable. Thank you.
Any more questions from you?
When we discuss tomorrow, right, the waters in mining industry sometimes become problems, and waters in the urban area, we call it the water resource, are our resource for life. And the things that maybe after I heard some learnings from all the information in this forum, the key things is if you manage surface water, you can manage your groundwater. That's what we conduct in mining, right? Because if we cannot manage our surface water, the problems of groundwaters will appear, for geotechnicals, for we lose the springs, etc. like that. So maybe the what we can agree in this forum, I think, if you can manage the surface water, so we can manage the groundwater system.
Great, thank you so much. So, any more questions before I wrap up our discussions today? Just one last question. Yes?
Isan from Water Resource Contractor. In coastal cities, such as Melbourne and in Jakarta, could ongoing infrastructure development, such as building and underground train station, affect groundwater recharge area and contribute to land subsidence? given that Indonesia is actively extending its infrastructure, particularly in transportation across major cities.
Anyone? Do you want to answer? Professor Werner?
Yeah, so, well, I'm from Adelaide, but still. So one of the issues in urban centres near the coast is that the stormwater network often gets seawater in it. And in some of our cities, the seawater is coming into the stormwater network and bringing salt water into the groundwater system. And so then at high tide, if you don't have gates on some of the stormwater network, so that's an infrastructure issue. Also in Adelaide, there's salt. The salt is impacting the concrete buildings. So there's salt rise and through some of the clays. So there's a lot of interactions between groundwater and infrastructure, not just the obvious, the obvious ones. And then there's also storm surge. So we get large storms, low pressure system, the sea level comes up, and if the wind is onshore and there's a high tide, then we're losing the coast. So the coast gets eroded, we lose the sand dunes, and then we start losing roads and houses into the sea. So it's all connected, the geomechanics, the town planning, the urban stormwater system, and even when we concrete the streams in the city to get rid of the water, okay, we lose the recharge, or we lose the discharge. You can lose one of each. Yeah, so it's all connected, and but each of those disciplines, the local council, they don't have groundwater expertise, and the groundwater people in state government maybe they don't talk to the local councils. So yeah, all of those things are connected, but often the expertise isn't so connected. So that's the real challenge in getting the people to who have the expertise to be able to manage the problems where those problems occur. So.
I think untuk konstruksi gedung, especially high-rise in Jakarta and Bandung and in other places, and also for construction of underground infrastructure like subway, metro station and tunnel, we see a lot of drainage of the building site. Yeah? Sometimes for high-rise apartment block, 3, 4, 5 levels underground untuk parking, untuk fasilitas. So the dewatering for the construction site is actually quite substantial. Yeah, a lot of dewatering. Maybe 1 city block or 5 hectares completely dewatered. So I'm always wondering if we understand the impact of this dewatering on the groundwater system. And if ever there has been any calculation, and again, seperti with mining, sometimes we understand from one company, but we don't understand from multiple companies all around. Yeah, so if you have multiple construction site and multiple drainage, multiple dewatering up to 20-30 meters, this can have quite some impact on the groundwater system. Yeah, and of course. After construction, the building location very nice, everything paved, no more recharge. The groundwater system is closed and empty. Yeah? So, yeah, we have this discussion about the impact of groundwater extraction and, of course, of the high-rise and the buildings on the land subsidence. Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. So, require more research, maybe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, thank you so much for all of the speakers, all of the panelists. Very interesting discussion that we had. So, before the wrap up, I just want to summarize all of it. As we've been discussed with Professor Heru and Professor Hendermawan, that we need more research to understand our coastal area hydrogeology system. And by understanding that, we need the support from the governments, and also we need to also collaborate with industries, which all of the sources to collect more advanced data, and also not to forget the data could be collected from the community. That's why that we also have the Jagat Semesta here. So all of the hub, all of the collaborations could advance and could be advanced and could be more beneficial for research and for the public and also for the industries also. So thank you so much for having this panel discussions, and if you have more discussions, you can reach all of our panelists here during the lunchtime and coffee break. And once again, thank you so much for PAI and NAPCAM for having these discussions. Back to you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as the symbolization of appreciation and thanksgiving, we have a simple appreciation for all speakers.
Please, Mr. Irwan, to go to the stage to give the special appreciation from groundwater expert of Indonesia. And also the documentary team can take a picture of this special keynote speech. So their panel discussion.
Can we have a round of applause to our speakers? Once again, this appreciation is simple, but this appreciation represents our deepest gratitude and highest regard to your contributions, dedications, and times. So thank you so much to all our speakers here.
Thank you for giving us the wonderful inspiration and also the new knowledge that we need in case of keep conservation of the groundwater. And we hope this contribution and this collaboration will keep in the future.
All right, maybe all the speakers can go here and we take the photo with all the participants here.
One, two, three.
Ada ketengah coba. Ada ketengah. Bisa.
And also we would like to take a photo with all the participants. All of the speakers can sit in the front row. So all of us can take a picture with them. Okay, so it will be on my command. 1, 2, 3. Give your best smile again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. We also thank to our moderator. What amazing moderator. Thank you so much, Miss Anggita.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we will have the lunch break and prayer until 1 p.m. at YCC building. The prayer room will be located in the 3rd floor, where the lunch will be on locals canteen. Don't worry if you don't know the value, our team will get you to the place.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind that you can join our gala dinner at 6 p.m. This gala dinner is open to all registered participants. It's completely free of charge, and we highly encourage everyone to join this special evening.
We sincerely thank to all speakers, participants, and distinguished guests for your enthusiastic presence and contributions.
We hope the knowledge and inspiration we've shared today will serve as a valuable foundation for our future endeavors. See you at the gala dinner. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terus dari bawah.
Thank you.
Dia mau foto dulu. Jangan
Ini kita outro.
itu kamera. Kanan, ini mentok ya ini. Nggak ada kanan. Kanan tuh gitu. Up.
Oh gini. Orang ceritanya kurang lat. Orang bisa transisi.
Ini di sini dulu. Oh iya.
Outro dulu.
Oh, ini nggak sih?
Harusnya dihitung ya 3, 2, 1. Sorry. Dah. Don. Mantap.
Bener.
Keren.
Selamat beres. Besok lanjut. Gala dinner ya?
Nah, gimana? Disuruh sih.
Operator juga. Nggak ada.
KBG doang. Kan ini kalau ada kayak gitu kan. Nah, gitu udah live stream.
Ada aja tambah. Semangat lah.
Siap, makasih.
Thank you. Selamat beres 1 hari. Lanjut malam dan besok.
Ini di stop dulu kan live streaming?
Apa tuh?
Apa dibiar aja? Dibiarin standby?
Nggak tahu. Cuman nggak sih?
Auditori. Ini ada banyak banget ya? Di stop aja.